What does he think about lifetime? I mean, when you plant hybrid, how many years can it last, produce, without the need of replanting it or without death of the tree? How long it can produce as much as they think is good enough?
Okay. But also would hybrid and there in fee do saying Anna a bit ma swama wa sana. If I say anona brassy and as I shall see say per se evu.
As average would you 10 years calling others.
You say from about 10 years it can give you when it starts it can give you good yield for 10 years.
So when does it start?
I say time bena a chassis.
Average in the wood 3 years per paper.
From the 3rd year,
Yeah.
it can give you good yield quantity for about 10 years.
So on year 3 it starts.
It starts, yeah.
And then
It starts. It starts to give you yield, to give you good yield till the 10th year.
10th or 10 years after 3rd year.
But I say, if you mention that's a best swab, a bit maswa, if you be do akahuan sana a one. He says yes, 10 years
After year 3.
after year 3.
So 13 years.
13 years.
And what happens after 10 years?
Okay, and if you be do me and so corona, and then easy.
If you bear doing a circle, no, and why a mirror, the sumo, what to scatter. Now, what did also the soul?
Okay. He says the yields begins to decline after the 13th year.
How much?
I say best saying. I say so it to me at best saying.
Let's say on 10th year after 3 it gave him, let's say, $6. What happens after 11th year, after 12th year, after 13th year?
I say
Is decline, because usually, if the climate is the same, from 1 year to next year, decline is not so easy to notice.
Yeah, almost insignificant.
If the climate is different, then yes, you can notice it. So I wonder how if he has been able to notice the difference.
Okay. I say so be a so if you be in female if you do if he and females are actually corner. O say so take koko awunya na so take na opese ohun eso te be se sen fan say one can nanka awunya be se bags insia ana se bags do a afa so beti abasen sa na opese o to
se bag be insia na meto a na se beti kwa rama nkodu mo eso beti kwa abeti be half
it can reduce by half.
Immediately after 10 years.
I see 10 years net prepare pen.
10 years net in so and 2 too much beer. Until say bad 10 bag doing a crowd. And so better bag.
Okay, he says it will not reduce significant like half immediately, but after the 10 years after the 3rd year, it will reduce by, let's say, if he harvests 10 bags, it will drop to basic 2, 8. It will drop by 2 bags.
Okay.
He can be receiving 8 bags.
Okay.
All right.
And why does he think it's happening?
Also, Oji is a day in Tina Mani Basa.
Some people want to soon into Minto. I was average Nankasa na at Brecano, since you to be into I read a bossa. Says I make a woof for Fuma, Esobasa. And soon, it is in soon to more on Tivenso.
You see that on the hybrid yields more when the during drought, the hybrid yields more when it rains a lot during the major rainy season. It doesn't give off more pods per tree. That is what he's saying.
But that's climate-related reasons. We are talking about age, relationship between age and productivity. So tell him that's interesting, but we want to know why he thinks that, or what is his explanation that after 13, 14 years of life, it declines. I mean, what's...
I say, I didn't know susu. Oji this a denti a yeka say kasafa be enfie di. So, nto so ususu say efi be edudunum hokono. E dey na ya eye nti a ema koko ni ntimi so anasa de na nka unya no. So timiti no.
On say edu efi du na le kono. On say de koko le kusu nyina ni. Na akofam kakra.
Oka say
egusu ni. Na so na atu kakra. Atu sama me kasa ba back na atu.
O say edie na ya na ema so ti no.
Say na so no. On say suru wo minti. Say nti to mo a na atu. Say wo say on say na yina sa. Ah si to say so ko pasa.
Na we say ya kafa koko no ni nyine ho. Ni nyine o say edu o me ya ti say efi
10 years.
O sha say 3 years if after 10 years after the third year, and I say the best I don't know level 12 years. So then
na confirm kakra na so that kakra.
Okay, this when it goes when it about 10 years after the third year, it begins to, because the trees are aging, so the productivity begins to, productivity of the tree it begins to.
So what does he think is a total, let's say, useful lifetime for hybrid before you should replant it? I mean, you have planted it, let's say, in year 2000. After, in 2003, it started to yield. Until 2013, it yielded well. And when you have to replant it, I mean, when the productivity is so low already that you have to replant the hybrid, what does he think? What's the age for that?
And then I was to fancy udua hybrid and they are in field do saying and I was to say, oh, Sabi say the baby akukoya do there. I say me channel cra, na me dua foforo. In field do saying and I say so didn't be the hybrid no be the answer ukura.
Hybrid never ukura no. But about 20 years.
20 years. He said 20 years.
What 20 years?
20 years to that 20 years. It takes 20 years to replant, to cut and replant.
So okay, so for him, hybrid useful life is 20 years.
20 years.
And this what people do, or he himself have done, or what does he think? People replant hybrids every 20 years, or they keep it for longer?
Okay. I say now, Ususu said, I'm out for it. I'm out for 20 years. No, you are and I said, then I'm German. This is
20 years ago.
And the Omo, he says, yes, they do. They cut and plant.
On se be only be a film. So we maintain a fire. Not so we castle. Nakano. About Sasso says a matter.
He says what they normally do is that sometimes you do not cut in the course of in the growing period, in the productive period of the tree.
Yeah.
If you maintain it, or some shoots would develop. So those shoots, when you observe that the tree is about, or the vegetative growth is retarding, then you maintain another shoot which can replace the main trunk, so that when it gets to that stage that it can no longer produce, then you cut that one so that this one will come and replace.
Okay.